Hi everybody, Robert Dyer, and welcome to the Robert Dyer channel after Christmas countdown. We're going all the way through January 6th, and I have another explosive product to review here. This is going to be a comparison of Pepsi Zero to regular Pepsi. Now, Pepsi Zero, I guess maybe was it called Pepsi Max at some point. I've never been able to get this in a single container before. It's always been in a 6-pack of some kind or another, and as you know, you hate to buy something that may turn out to be terrible and then you got 5 more cans of it. But holy smokers, finally in the little refrigerator case at giant grocery store, I managed to get my hands on Pepsi Zero Sugar. And I also have here, for comparison purposes, a can of Pepsi Cola with real sugar, which is of course the original recipe. It's very frustrating that Coke will not sell officially in America the original formula with real sugar, because that's the Coke I remember. I wouldn't have been excited about Pepsi Zero, and that's probably why I never tried it when it came out initially, is because Diet Coke was my bad experience with diet sodas. And what I found is when I tried Coke Zero last year, I think it was the last Christmas countdown, in fact, that it was actually surprisingly good. It didn't have that terrible chemical taste, and it didn't have the terrible aftertaste, and most importantly, you could guzzle it down quick if you were really thirsty, which I cannot do with Diet Coke. I don't know if you can. It just simply won't go down. It's so artificial chemical flavored. The body just doesn't want to take it in. So I've got 2 different cups here, but first a program note is that sorry to have to announce that the death of Mean Gene Okerlund of the World Wrestling Federation. I feel like a member of my extended family has passed on. That's very sad to hear. So our best wishes and prayers are with Mean Gene tonight. And we'll put the real Pepsi in the 1 cup. And let's get this Pepsi Zero open. And for fairness purposes, I have chilled both of these to the same temperature. Now right off the bat, the Pepsi Zero in this mug, it had a tremendous head on it, and both of these are very fresh product I've got here, so there isn't one older than the other. And the Pepsi Zero had a lot of foam and fizz exploding up, which then quickly disappeared, whereas the much less in the real Pepsi. Now this is the Pepsi Zero. It is pretty close. Surprisingly, the Pepsi Zero in the bottle has a much stronger aroma and much more vigorous carbonation. Usually a can is a little more fizzy. So I'm going to go ahead and try the Pepsi Zero first, because the other one will be so sweet that it will not be a fair comparison. So let's go ahead and see how it tastes. Well, I have to say the initial taste is it does not have the kind of artificial flavor, so it's similar to Coke Zero in that way. The aftertaste, there's really no bitter aftertaste either. And it goes down quickly, so it doesn't have that Diet Coke problem. Now let's try the real Pepsi. Well, it's really not too different. Again, there's that weird thing where it's a little flatter than the one in the bottle, so now for a final test, let's go back from the real sugar, real Pepsi to Pepsi Zero. I'm very impressed with this Pepsi Zero. It is even closer to the real Pepsi than Coke Zero to Coke. I would not have expected, but I tried both together. They're virtually indistinguishable, except there's just something slightly a little bit off about the Pepsi Zero, but it's almost barely noticeable. I think this is great if you can't have regular Pepsi. This is pretty damn close to the real thing, and no bad chemical taste, no aftertaste. So I have to give this a very solid 5 stars for Pepsi Zero. A great job by Pepsi, and there's really no reason to drink Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi anymore with these Zero products available at this point. Hope you like this video, share it with your friends, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time, tomorrow, on this Christmas countdown. Bye everybody.